President Carter was notable beyond politics. He was also a lifelong outdoorsman and made conservation a priority as governor and president. Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is live at Atlantic Station for us this afternoon. Doug, there are still signs of remembrance there for this late president.
Right, Blair, a pretty big one, quite literally right over my shoulder, the giant presidential seal that is still hanging today on the Millennium Game Museum here at Atlantic Station in Atlanta. And that's just one of the many signs of respect that we have seen for former President Carter as he made his way here through on his procession for some of his funeral services this weekend. But, you know, he was an avid outdoorsman, so far away from the cities where he served, Atlanta, Washington, D.C. That was where he was most happy, and there are still a lot of lasting impacts and legacies left behind by him when you look at Georgia's rivers and streams.
I do think about him. I think of what would Jimmy do.
Rena Ann Peck feels a deep connection to Georgia's rivers and streams, and because of that, a deep connection to Jimmy Carter.
He protected rivers, and now I get to protect rivers too. He paddled the Okefenokee, and now I get to too.
Peck, who is the executive director of the group Georgia Rivers, says he can't think about conservation in our state without thinking about the 39th president.
I think it's these experiences that he's had on our rivers that really connected him so that he wanted to protect them.
Carter was an avid outdoorsman, often found fly fishing or boating on the Okefenokee Swamp or the Flint, Chattahoochee, or Chattooga rivers. Here he is jumping into the hooch. Carter would later go on to prevent dams being built in the waterways he loved and sign legislation to protect wildlife areas. He created the Chattahoochee River National Recreational Area and named the Chattooga the first wild and scenic river. There are now over 200 such areas nationwide. Right now, in Georgia's legislature, there are efforts to restrict public access to rivers and to mine the Okefenokee Swamp. Peck says she knows how Carter would feel.
We could wonder what he would do, but we really don't have to wonder. He would want to protect the Okefenokee from mining that harms the swamp. He would want to defend public access to our rivers and streams.
It's an emotional thing, thinking about the work that's been done.
He is, I'm so sorry.
And everything still left to do for Georgia's wildlife.
I feel like we can all live out his legacy as Georgians, being proud of his conservation work.
And actually, just a few months before Carter died, Rena's group awarded him with the Georgia River Hero Award. His grandson Josh, who often went fishing and boating with him, accepted it on his behalf. From Atlantic Station, Doug Reardon, Atlanta News First.